Happy Sunday evening, everybody, and welcome to Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's going to be a great one. The Independence 500 is here on Turn 1 for the SIM500 group, and I cannot wait to bring this race to you live for the full 200 laps. The Coupe, the 1987 cars, getting ready to go 200 laps around the famed 2.5 mile 2008 Daytonas. The pace car is on its way off pit road, getting ready to go green flag racing qualifying efforts. It's been pretty wild. They've had qualifying races, fast times, and LCQs, but David Brown is going to be your pole sitter. Aaron Smith, Justin Fuller, Tyler Dalton making up row 2. Bobby Wetzel, Wesley Donaldson, David Shieldhouse, Chad Coleman, John Schwerkart, Mike Montesi, your top 10. As they get up to speed here and get ready to go green flag racing. Petra Smetana is P11. Kevin DeBrown, Nelson Rivera, Robert Ferreri, P14 tonight. Richard Swavely, P15. Sean Bretzman, Lane Phillips, Mark Jorgensen Jr., Sony Benfield, and Anthony Crownover are going to round out your top 20. Again, it's going to be a compelling race here tonight at Daytona, and you're not going to want to miss a single lap of it, so make sure you tune in here to Turn 1. Get connected with us. Be with us throughout this entire race. The Independence 500, presented by SIM500, live right here on Turn 1. They've practiced, they've prepped, they've qualified, they've last chance qualified, they've raced, and they're finally here, celebrating what I would consider a big milestone through the summer, and capping off a holiday week right here on Turn 1. The Independence 500 getting ready to go green. A lot of talking points here tonight. This track's going to be really bumpy. It's going to be a handful for a lot of these drivers, and they're going to find out just how much. They've got to make it last 200 laps. The pace car is going to go down pit road, and David Brown is going to lead them to the green flag. The Independence 500 is live. As they come down the stretch here, off into Turn 1 for the first time under speed. David Brown out front. He's going to pull Aaron Smith along with him. Tyler Dalton sitting on that inside, sitting on that outside row 1. Here comes Justin Fuller, making a run as well. Dalton's going to fall all the way back to 5th. Bobby Wetzel's working his way up here. Again, these drivers are not even up to speed yet in these 87 Coupes across this very abrasive, bumpy 2008 Daytona. And the Independence 500 lap number 1 is complete. Our top 5 single filed out. It's still a little chaotic back here. This is Mike Montesi, Wesley Donaldson, Chad Coleman, John Schwerkart, Kevin DeBrown. And that crew still trying to get it worked out. A lot of talk during pre-race about trying to find a place to ride. It's going to be a long race as you see. Who is that down there on the apron of that mellow yellow machine? Is that Schwerkart? No, it is not. I believe that's Chad Coleman. It is. Coleman trying to just ride here with the rest of these drivers. They want to settle in. This track is abrasive. It's bumpy. Saving tires or having tires rather, throughout the race is going to be important. These drivers don't have any sets in the pits or any limited sets in the pits, so they're going to come down every chance they get. But while it's green flag conditions, you've got to make sure you're at a good spot, and there's no point in pressing the issue here early. These drivers are settling in for a long night of vintage battles here on iRacing. Out front, though, David Brown continues to lead. He's our pole sitter. Out front, everybody single filed out through our top 5, but again, they started to get a little spread out back behind them. That's Shieldhouse, Mike Montesi back there, Donaldson also battling it out, looking a little bit further back through the top 15 or so. Mark Jorgensen Jr. leads. It was almost a 3-wide battle right there. They thought better of it. Sean Swavely's back here in this mix-up as well. Stoney Benfield, Zach Roethlisberger. We saw these drivers compete in the qualifying races just late last week. And, hey, they were able to make it into the race. We did have some substitutes tonight. We'll cover that when we get a chance. But ultimately, mostly single filed and green flag racing here on lap number 4. Brown continue out front. He's got a strong lead here with this group early. Nobody's really challenged him. In the meantime, looking back here, that is at the 25. Starting to make a charge through the field. They're going to get back in line here. And everybody rolling free and clear there, top 4. Now going to split it out. That's Bobby Wetzel. Trying to hold off. Who is that coming up through the field? That is Wetzel. He's trying to challenge Justin Fuller. Fuller sitting in that 3rd spot. Wetzel sitting in 4th. He's starting to slide back a little bit. The 25 also making a move here, looking on the outside of the 9. Or the inside of the 9, rather. Tyler Dalton, he started up there in 3rd. He's going to sit back in 6th. He's just waiting for all this to break out. Let's ride on board with Tyler Dalton while we've got a chance in that 19 car for a lap around Daytona here in the early going. You see how bumpy this old track surface is and how these drivers are going to have to pedal these cars for all 200 laps here tonight at Daytona. Again, under the hot summer sun here in Daytona, and it is going to make that track just that much more slick and tough to work around. It's going to make the car feel pretty loose. The longer they go in this fuel run as well, that's going to spring the car a little bit more and add to those bumps that these drivers will be facing. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Turn 1 here tonight, bringing you live coverage of the SIM500 Independence 500 right here on Turn 1. It's great to have everybody on board. We see you over on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Say hello in the chat. It's going to be a long one. We'd love to interact with you as they come down through the start-finish line to take lap number 9. Brown continues to lead. Smith, Fuller, Wetzel, and Smatana, your top 5. Looking back a little bit further, Josh Parker obviously sitting at 20. Doug Sigmund, Lane Phillips, they're all cruising back here. Doy Woods, there's a little bit of a gap that Joey Chatina is leading, kind of that other gap back here, that other crew back here. He's already up 14 spots on the night. Rolling, sitting in 24th right now. Eric Arnold, Brent Scott, Stoney Benfield slid back to 27th. Kevin Stone, Alan Wild, and Glenn Campbell, your top 30. Then it's Crown over. Hazel, Livingston, Hudson, Wortman, James Durham, Ron Holyfield, John Mustaine, Ricky Kennedy, and Brian Rayburn rounding out your 40-car field here tonight. It's starting to pick up just a little bit up here again. We see Fuller under a little bit of pressure. Here comes Wetzel. Fuller down on the bottom, Wetzel on the high side. Wetzel's that 9 car up there. We've seen him kind of poke his nose a couple times. The problem is if Fuller were to need to give up that spot, there's just not too many places to go. Fuller's going to shut the door. Here comes down the 25 and the 9 side by side as they roll out of 4. This is going to bunch up basically everybody from 4th on back. Tyler Dalton's in this mix. They thought about making it 3 wide coming across the finish line there. But now we're starting to see kind of the handling characteristics change in these cars as they are already 11 laps into this 200-lap event. And somebody tonight's taking home a big check. Winning this race is more than just bragging rights. They're going to walk away with a good sum of money here tonight at Daytona. As they roll through 1 and 2 here. Again, that top 3 starting to run different lines. You can tell some of these drivers punting on the track for maybe a little more grip, a little bit better handling as we see Bobby Wetzel move up. Aaron Smith's going to fall back to 4th now. Wetzel is going to fall under pressure. Or I'm sorry, not Wetzel. David Brown's going to fall under pressure. Here comes Justin Fuller. Brown is going to move to the outside and actually slide back a little bit. Though it looks like Wetzel almost moved up and made contact with him there. That's going to bottle up this whole group here. Here comes David Shieldhouse. Out of nowhere, our top 5 dissolves. Shieldhouse moves up to P number 2. David Brown, Bobby Wetzel. Your top 4, Aaron Smith's going to slot into 5th. Just behind him is the 19 and the 25. Side by side, but everybody else in the top 10 single file. New leader, the Independence 500 on lap 13 is Justin Fuller. As they roll through 2 and 3 here. Justin Fuller, Shieldhouse. Smith, Wetzel. The 19 or the 29 still battling. Here comes Mike Matesi. Rolling forward. Matesi's up to P7. John Schwerkart, Wesley Donaldson's up in this mix. Tyler Dalton. We were riding on board with him just a little while ago. Now he's pedaled back a little bit. He's all the way back in 10th and losing ground on that inside line. Looks like while we're under green here, I want to take a quick look at Rick Kennedy. May have had an incident on track. We need to take a look. Oh, he gets loose through the tri-oval, tries to hang on to it. Oh, he's going to make big contact on that inside. I'm sorry, down the backstretch on that inside wall, and unfortunately, that is probably going to end his night from a competitive standpoint. Rick Kennedy spins. That's the first incident on track tonight. Everybody else, though, remaining free and clean and green here at Daytona. As they roll out of turn number 4. Fuller, Shieldhouse, Wetzel, Brown, Smith, your top 5. Fuller on the high line, starting into that corner through the high line there. You saw maybe that driver starting to run into a little bit of issues keeping that car down low. There's 16 laps of green flag tire racing on these tires here in these 87 cars, and we heard when we rode on board with the 19 and Dalton earlier how much they're off throttle, on throttle, off throttle, etc. And trying to hang on to these cars, not only the bumps unsettle them, but really just all the handling characteristics as a whole with these cars and the horsepower. Certainly something that's going to be a factor here tonight. essentially our entire top 12, 15, or 12 or so single file. Tyler Dalton, speaking of, has fallen back to 14th. He's got Josh Parker right there with him. So did Mike Montesi. We saw him up in the top 10 earlier. Now he's slid all the way back to 16th. Looking past our top 20, Doy Woods, Lane Phillips, Eric Arnold, Joey Jatina, Glenn Campbell, Brent Scott, Kevin Stone, Anthony Crownover, Connor Hazel, Joe Hudson, you're in the 30th position. Shieldhouse started back here. He was back in the 6th place tonight. Fell back a little bit, then has worked his way all the way forward. We saw a big run with the mix-up of the top 5 there about 4 laps ago. Now Shieldhouse sitting in 2nd place. He's starting to look to the inside. You saw it there, just look to the inside of the 51 of Fuller. Thinking about an opportunity to go low and maybe make it past. The runs are big here at Daytona. You certainly feel the momentum build up consistently, and you've got to hold the car under control. You've got to keep it underneath you. And those bumps, and again, these tires starting to wear are going to be a factor as Fuller enters high, trying to sweep that car through the corner. Shieldhouse looked low. He's going to look low again. He's also going to bring Bobby Wetzel with him. We've got a challenge for the lead. Down the backstretch, it's a drag race. Wetzel pushes David Shieldhouse, your new leader here at Daytona. That is really going to check up this front pack. Justin Fuller's going to slide back. He's trying to find a place in line to get here. Not quite clear a 2nd place. He's going to do it there. Here comes David Brown, Bobby Wetzel side by side through the tri-oval. This has checked everybody up behind him. Josh Swerkar is up in the mix. Now, what was once a single file group not 2 laps ago, now side by side racing action here in the top 10 as they roll through 1 and 2. The top 3 get it sorted, but around Aaron Smith, it's Josh Swerkar. Kevin Brown's up here now. Wesley Donaldson, Nelson Rivera. They had things mostly smoothed out, but let's ride along. Let's take a ride with the 93 of Kevin DeBrown as he watches this action all unfold in front of him. You certainly hear those tires screaming for mercy as these cars roll through the corner. Rode on board there for a lap and a half or so with Kevin DeBrown. And you just see how bouncy and abrasive this track can be here under the hot sun at Daytona. Shieldhouse continues to lead Fuller, Brown, Smith. That's Matana, your top 5. Jorgensen Jr. working his way up front here And so is Bobby Wetzel. We saw him up front. Now he's sliding back a little bit. We've seen some come-and-goers early. Speaking of come-and-goers, Josh Parker just sitting outside of the top 10 and 11th right now. He's up 17, now 18 spots as he works to alongside John Schwerkart. Zach Roethlisberger sitting 17 or sitting up 17 spots, sitting in 12th. Logan Coger, another name we talk about pretty often here on Turn 1 with the SIM500 group. Logan Coger sitting 13th. He's up 14 spots on the night. As they come down the backstretch here, leading, get ready to lead back off into turn number 3. Shieldhouse leads the Independence 500. Presented by SIM500. Right here on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. I appreciate you tuning in. We're just settling into a great race here tonight to cap off a fantastic holiday weekend. I hope everybody had a good time with some friends and family and enjoyed the holiday. But now it's time for some old school racing here at Daytona for this Independence 500. You didn't get a chance to watch some of the qualifying races on, I do believe that was, oh goodness, what was that? Was that Thursday night? Yeah, it was a great time had by all, and it really was something to behold. You can find those replays here on Turn 1 on YouTube if you'd like to do so. Watch those. As we go back through the field here, again, our top 10 mostly single filed out. It looks like Montesi is alongside. Well, he was alongside there, the 2 just in front of him. Everybody's kind of playing this game pretty smooth here. Dory Woods is sitting right now in 22nd. There's a pretty decent gap back. Joey Jattina leads that second pack. This is Glenn Campbell, Eric Arnold back here. Brent Scott, Anthony Crowdover. Connor Hazel, Kevin Stone, Joe Hudson. Then Livingston, Wild, Sigmund Wertman, James Durr, John Mustaine, Ron Holyfield, Stoney Benfield, and Brian Rayburn. Rounding out the cars on track at the moment. It is, let's take a look. Mr. Rick Kennedy is not on track. We saw that replay a few laps ago. He was running hard and unfortunately just lost it down the backstretch. And we've got a battle for the lead. Shieldhouse on the inside. He's got some help with him, but it looks like Justin Fuller's on the charge on the outside. That is the 83 and the 25 making hay up there with these two. I believe that's David Brown on that high line. It is. Offered a little bit of a push there for Justin Fuller. They're not going to get it done, but Fuller's going to have the run off the corner. Justin Fuller's going to lead another lap here at Daytona. And now he's going to bring David Brown with him. And then just back behind him is Shieldhouse. He just slid all the way back to 4th. Josh Parker on the move. We talked about that driver just a few moments ago. He was up quite a bit. He was sitting at 11th. He's now up to 5th as he's making a drive forward. 23 spots up on the night so far for Josh Parker. This action is starting to heat up. Some of these drivers are starting to figure these cars out. This is a long green flag run, the first 28 laps under speed here. They should be needing to pit here probably in the next 10 to 15. You know, as a whole, these 87 cars, we see it here. The drafting is a lot different than even the cut cars on iRacing or the trucks, Xfinity, etc. It is much more about maintaining a run, and you can't run up on the bumper of somebody. There's still going to be a little bit of that gap, but it doesn't mean you're not going to need the help when it comes time for pit stops. And these drivers are going to have to find somebody to go with or find a group to go with. And that's all part of the conversations here. Again, keep in mind, these drivers are not competing just for bragging rights. They're competing for a check. Here tonight, this Independence 500 was a pay-to-play, I like to call them. You paid $10 entry fee for attempt to qualify, and then you got in. And if you were here, if you made it in and we're ready to roll, you were all set. So first place tonight. I was just looking for it. Here it is. First place tonight is going to pay out $125. It's David Brown. Now looks up front. So is the 25 of Petrie Smetana. Peter, I think that's your name. I'm not sure, buddy. We'll have to figure that one out. Justin Fuller, Shieldhouse back up to fourth. Josh Parker in the top 5. So everybody here is looking for a payout tonight. And it looks like the top 10 are all going to receive a prize here tonight. So not only are you racing for the bragging rights of winning one of the most prestigious races that SIM500's put on here in a while, you're also bragging. You want to walk away with a little bit of a pocket change, you know, being able to complete this race and say you've got a little bit of money in your pocket and a good finish after a long 200 laps of bumpy racing action across the Daytona surface will certainly feel good. David Brown started out on the pole, and he's back up front. Inside the 25 locked in behind him. Justin Fuller, David Shieldhouse, Josh Parker, your top 5. Aaron Smith, Bobby Wetzel, Zach Roethlisberger, Wesley Donaldson, and Kevin DeBrown, your top 10. Everybody's mostly single-filed. Everybody is single-filed out for the top 20. Let's check back in with this Joey Jettina group. That car count has actually fallen down a little bit. I thought it was a bigger group than just these 5. That's Jettina, Scott Hudson, Crownover, and I think Kevin Stone back there in the mix as well. As cars starting to lose a little bit of this draft. We saw during the qualifying races. Losing the draft here is not as big of a factor as it would have been, again, for the Cup and Xfinity cars. These 87 Coupes could certainly get some runs. I'm sure we're going to see that quite often here tonight. That's Josh Parker looking the inside of Shieldhouse. Side by side through the corner they go. Shieldhouse is going to be up on the high side. So was the 25. In second place, you saw him nearly run up to the wall. Shieldhouse is there. Parker is right there in the mix as well. These leaders are actually getting ready to overtake some lap traffic. As I say that, here comes the 25 on the inside. He's going to have a big run down to the corner. Does he have the tire to make it stick? That car is going to slide up the racetrack, get a little tight. Here comes David Brown back on the high side. Side by side, down the short chute into the tri-oval. David Brown's going to continue to lead. That's just a perfect example of what the run can do for you, but we saw the 25 just not quite have the tire to make it stick there on the bottom here at Daytona. As we talked about just a little while ago, though, or just before we got interrupted with everybody making those runs, the lap traffic ahead of our leaders, that's eventually going to start helping them a little bit as the 25 goes underneath, and David Brown's going to take that spot and settle into second. Oh, he's going to look underneath the 25 as they come through the tri-oval. Oh, what a drag race. I think Brown may have led that at the stripe. The 25 on the high line made it work coming out the outside through 3 and 4. And again, now this lap traffic's going to be a factor. These leaders are going to start seeing a little bit of a draft off of them. You're going to start to see some runs. And that's going to do nothing but help the 25. Fuller's going to come back to the bumper of the 83 and Brown. Brown sends it off into the corner a little bit higher. He's looking to maybe build a little bit of speed off quarter exit. And those lap cars, we've got a car heading down pit road. Did not want to play in the field. That was Brian Rayburn. Hit pit road. Meanwhile, the rest of the field looking to try to get by. I believe that's Stoney Benfield. It is not Stoney. Who is that? That is John Mustaine Jr. in the 35. Gonna go a lap down here as he's sitting down the inside, letting everybody cruise by the 25. Spatana out front by 3 car lengths. Now over Brown, Fuller, Josh Parker, and Shieldhouse. Hey, Mac, long time no see. Thanks for tuning in to Turn 1 over on the YouTube side. Oh, I'm sorry, you're over on the Facebook side tonight, Mac. We haven't heard from you in a hot minute. Glad to see you're doing well, buddy. And yeah, we can't wait for you to get done with that move and come jump in with these guys. It'd be a good time. We'd love to talk to you in Victory Lane again one day. Out front, the 25, free and clear. He's also catching back up to some of this lap traffic. We got another car going to peel down pit road now that they've got caught up with the field. On the other hand, I believe that's Ron Holyfield. It is. He is going to stay out, and the leaders are going to work around him here. 38 laps of green flag action in the books here at Daytona for the Independence 500, presented by SIM500. This racing action has been hot as we got a side-by-side battle for the lead. Here comes David Brown on the inside. Brown in that 83. He's led some laps here tonight. He's fallen back through the field. Started on the pole, fell back, came back forward, led some more laps now. Justin Fuller is challenging the 83 on the outside as they roll through 3 and 4. The 25 is liking what he's seeing in the mirror. No pressure off his bumper. If you want to find out more information about this group, we got a car sideways down the front stretch and blinked out. I don't know who that was. Was that Aaron Smith? It was. He is no longer on track. Not sure what happened there. He got loose and then disconnected almost, it looks like. He is not on track at the moment. Anyway, back to the point we're trying to make. This is obviously a special event presented by SIM500, but I truly do mean it when I say you want to catch some exciting racing with some great drivers several nights a week. I think they run 4 or 5 nights a week. Head on over to sim500.com. Find a group that fits your style, whether it be ARCA on Sunday nights in the Surge Series, or it be the Cup Car on Monday night, or any of the other leagues. Feel free to inquire. Head on over to sim500.com for more information. Our top 10 single file here as we're 40 laps in. So far, some great clean racing across the track, but everybody back here, basically 15, 16 on back, has started to really spread out. We've not seen pit stops happen just yet, but they should be coming in a matter of laps. As you see, actually, Mike Montesi coming off pit road just there. He's a driver that came down. He's going to have to blend in with some traffic all by himself. Montesi pits. No tire limit for these drivers tonight, but there is no fast repairs. And if you know me and you know super speedway racing, how often I mention you've got to be there at the very end to be there to win. And tonight, you got a long way to go. We're not even a fourth of the way through this event here. And to be able to collect that checkered flag when it matters most, you got to keep the car clean. And we've seen, for the most part, some excellent clean racing. Top 10 again, as I mentioned, single filed out. As I say that, just behind Fuller, that's Josh Parker making a move. Parker's been steadily climbing through the field. That driver is very passionate about what he does here on the network. He wants to be quick and competitive each and every week. And now all of a sudden, he's up here battling for a top 5 as we see a side-by-side battle for the lead. Fuller now looking to the high side of the 25. And I think we're going to see some drivers come down pit road from the lead. That is going to be the 25. He's going to bring Parker Logan Coger's going to come down pit road as well. Green flag pit stops underway. Joe Hudson down pit road. Joey Jatina also on pit road for service. So green flag stops. Starting here in the top 5, top 10, lap number 43. Fuller's going to take the lead away here. We'll see when the rest of this pack decides to come down pit road. So, yeah, it looks like a bunch of folks are going to peel off. You got to get these cars really checked up. We see some tire smoke. A couple folks lock them up. Looks like David Brown, Justin Fuller, Roethlisberger's on pit road. Mark Jorgensen's on pit road. Schildhouse, Sean Bertman, Doy Woods, Lane Phillips. And that's going to give the lead up to Bobby Wetzel. Wetzel out front. Schwerkart, Donaldson, Nelson Rivera, and Tyler Dalton now your top 5, but they've not come down pit road. And Schwerkart and Wetzel battle side by side for the lead. Tire fall off is not really a factor here at Daytona with these cars, as we got another big group coming down. That's Donaldson, Wetzel. Everybody's trying to get checked up and not run into each other. That's also going to be Kevin DeBrown coming down pit road. Another group of 5 completing those pit stops here for the first time. This is going to leave these last 3 drivers out without coming down pit road. That's Schwerkart, Rivera, Robert Ferrari. These 3 looking to run it out. They would honestly really like to see a caution right now, maybe get that track position back after coming down, but no, all 3 are going to hit pit road. And this is going to round out our pit stops for the first green flag segment of tonight's race, the Independence 500, presented by SIM500. And right now, Josh Parker leads coming around 2 and 3, or sorry, 1 and 2. He's got the 25 with him. Schildhouse is right there. Here comes Mark Jorgensen off pit road. But Fuller's up to speed, and the rest of these guys, that's Schildhouse there, Jorgensen Jr., everybody spread out quite a bit during this pit cycle, but Parker, see if he's going to cycle past these drivers down pit road. They're on their way out. He may not have it here, but he certainly will next time by. No, he's not going to have it there, but the 81 of Josh Parker is going to put some lead some laps here at Daytona. As everybody's pretty spread out. That's Logan Coger, Mike Montesi side by side. Oh, I think that's Logan up in the wall. No, I'm sorry, that was not Logan. Who was that up there with Montesi? It was Wesley Donaldson, I believe we saw. They had some contact with the wall. Either way, things are starting to get a little sporty here. And there you have it, Josh Parker. He's going to lead his first lap of the night for the Independence 500. I don't suspect that'll be the last time Josh Parker is up front. While we've got a chance here for a moment, Wesley Donaldson just put down a blistering lap, a fastest lap of the night. Obviously starting to get some of these runs as these cars are really spaced out. Let's ride on board the 91 of Wesley Donaldson for a lap or 2 around Daytona. Under caution for the first time here tonight. James Durr, Justin Mustaine involved. Both of those drivers down in the grass. And we have our first caution of the night for the Independence 500 right here on turn 1. Let's go back and take a quick look at what may have happened to these two drivers back here. Racing around 30. Well, they were racing up here. Oh, they both make contact. They get together. Both of those cars tore up pretty hard. Well, let's do the old rewind a little bit more. What happened here to get these two drivers collected with one another? Coming off of one, and it looks like Mustaine, he gets into the wall, gets loose, trying to hang on to it. No! The car just pointed right and collects James Durr. And that is unfortunate. That's going to end both of their nights and bring out the first caution for tonight's Independence 500 here at Daytona. Josh Parker leads. We're going to step aside for just a moment. By the way, Aaron, an update from Aaron, who we saw take an inside line and disappear off track. That driver told us that he had his headset freeze, and unfortunately a thunderstorm rolling in. Mother Nature did not want him to win, apparently. Aaron, we're sorry to hear about that, buddy, but we're glad we got to see you on track for a few laps. And thanks for tuning in here on turn 1. Pit stops underway for the first caution of the night. Ride sides going on these cars. These pit stops last a little longer than they normally do. On these older machines, not as much innovation in the pits as there used to be. And Nelson Rivera, the first off pit road, only an 11-second stop for him. Maybe a little bit of strategy at play for some track position. We're going to step aside for just a moment, come back to you. Green flag, racing action. You're watching turn 1. Nelson Rivera leads as the pace car lights are off. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here on lap number 52. We are officially a quarter of the way through the Independence 500, presented by SIM500 and SIM500.com. Appreciate you being here. We got a lot of folks in the house tonight, so everybody, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you tuning in to Turn 1. It's going to be a great race. Please settle in. If you haven't already done so, like, subscribe, do what you need to do to get connected. We'd love to see the support over on YouTube. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. Like the stream if you haven't. We certainly want to watch. We want everybody in their other feeds, for maybe folks that are not familiar with SIM500, to come check out some of the excellent racing action. And to do that, you got to push the stream through the algorithm. So if you haven't already done so, like, subscribe, do what you need to do to support Turn 1. We appreciate all the love. Getting ready to go back, green flag racing here. And we see the lap down cars up front here. This is the old style restart, the green flag back out. Oh, everybody's gonna get checked up. The front did not get rolling. Rivera may have had a little bit of contact there with the 25. Fuller goes down low. This is going to shake up this lead pack a little bit with these lead cars up here, or with these lap down machines. Fuller's going to go to the high side. We got cars down on the apron. A couple machines bailing out of that, moving down and getting out of the leader's way, at least some. Who is this? Is this Brian Rayburn? No, it isn't, but Clint Campbell's up here in this mix. He's actually leading the point, but he's fighting to stay on the lead lap. Nelson Rivera is going to make the move on the high side as he comes across the stripe. Justin Fuller is going to come with him. That is not for position. That is a lap down car there. Here comes David Brown, Josh Swerkart, Mark Jorgensen in this mix, and it is chaos up here in the top 10 again. Unlike modern cars and the super speedway racing that some of these drivers do, at Talladega and Daytona, 2 and 3 wide racing is just not a normal thing to see in these cars. They're getting it sorted out here. Justin Fuller now on the point here as they roll through 1 and 2. Look back, it's also a very similar story towards the rear of the field. 2 by 2 these drivers roll. Now keep in mind, they just got fresh Goodyears on these cars, so they're going to be pretty sporty. They're going to be able to grip a little bit better than, say, what they were able to towards the end of that green flag run. We saw the 25 try to make some moves on the inside, the car getting tight. As we see now, David Brown look underneath the 25. Brown started on the pole now. Looking to the inside, he's stayed in the top 5, top 6 most of the night so far. And now back up here, battling the 25 for that second place spot. Fuller's going to get a huge shove down the backstretch. That's going to require him to really manage the car through the corner. You see that machine scrub up the racetrack a little bit, but he's going to move down and give some draft to the 83. David Brown's going to get clear of the 25. Oh, from a toe from our leader, Justin Fuller. Just like that, our top 6 single filed out. Wesley Donaldson was one of the last cars to get there. Looking through the rest of the field here, back around 20th or so. That's Eric Arnold sitting at 20th. The Joey Chatina is settled into 21st. Richard Swavely, Josh Parker, he was leading earlier before that caution came out. Parker now running 23rd. Mike Montesi, Leighton Phillips, Kevin Stone, Anthony Crownover, Alan Wild, Brian Rayburn, and Glenn Campbell all in the top 30. Not only can you see when we ride on board with these cars just how bouncy this track is and how loose these cars look from a spring perspective. But you can even see it on the ride height when they're bouncing through the racetrack. You hit those bumps just right, you're going to go for a ride. Because that's Logan Coger starting to slice and dice his way forward. All of a sudden, Coger's now up to third. He's going to bring Mark Jorgensen with him. Jorgensen on a huge run. He stalled. He has to really check up to avoid the bumper on the 25. That was some of the runs we heard in the driver's briefing, and a couple different mentions was don't take the run. You don't have to. You can certainly, everybody's going to get it, but you don't need to take it. Make sure you're making your mind and your P's and Q's early. No point in tearing something up early and making a mistake. And you see there, that was a big checkup out of Jorgensen, knowing he had really nowhere to go. Had to get on the brakes here early in the 88 car, but he's up 12 spots. So right now, sitting fifth is Jorgensen Jr. Fuller and Brown are paired up and running hard here. Through 1 and 2 they go. But here comes Logan Coger. That was what we were waiting on. Coger's now going to challenge on the inside. Fuller's going to move down low. That is going to give Coger a little bit of a buffer there. It's going to slow him up a little bit as Fuller plays the line back and forth. Now back up to the high side. Justin Fuller continues to lead here on lap number 60. Our top 5 is single filed out, but behind them, it is 2 by 2 by 2. 3, sometimes 4 rows back. And this is Rivera, Donaldson, Schwerkart, Wetzel, Roethlisberger, and others all back here trying to battle for these top 10 spots. And again, as we talked about, track position and track condition being a factor here as we look back up front. That's Logan Coger on the inside of Brown. Oh, Coger has to really swing the car out. He's going to lose some momentum. I think Coger may have gotten loose there coming off a 4. Oh, he's going to make contact. Who was that? That was Mark Jorgensen Jr. And he's slow on the apron. We saw him and Coger make a little bit of contact down the front stretch. No caution. And now Logan Coger sitting in back in 5th. I think, again, as I mentioned, that all started with that driver getting what looked a little bit loose and free off the corner. Moving up a little bit and making contact with Mark Jorgensen Jr., who I believe was able to save that car without much carnage. He was. That looks pretty straight in the 88 Crisco machine. We'll see if he's able to maintain and get back up front here as Jorgensen Jr. was just starting his run into the top 5. Back again, like I mentioned, man. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. We'll be talking to you soon. Also, a couple other folks saying hello over on the YouTube side. Appreciate you being here. You're watching the Independence 500, presented by SIM500. So far, it's been a great show here at Daytona. The 2008 edition, one of the first tracks rolled out on iRacing in 2008, and then the 87 Coupes. These were released relatively recently, sometime in the last 2 years. And very much a throwback race, the Independence 500 presented by SIM500. We appreciate everybody being here tonight on Turn 1. Justin Fuller leads. David Brown Peter Smetana, Wesley Donaldson, Bobby Wetzel, your top 5. Looks like Logan Koger starting to slide back a little bit more. That was Jack Roethlisberger getting by him on the outside. Here comes Schildhaus through the field. Koger's going to go back, slide back even further. I don't know if this is not intentional. Out of the 80 car, he made contact about 3 laps ago. Maybe the tire's starting to wear on that machine, or maybe that was just a little bit of evidence. Hey, can I get runs? What is that going to look like for me? And I know I can, so now let me go back to the rear of the field. There's still a long way to go here tonight. And a lot of these drivers thinking strategy. You've got to be there when it matters most. That checker flag lap, you want to have a chance to race for the $125 winner jackpot here. And to do so, you've got to keep the car clean throughout the entire race. Another driver I'm really surprised about here right now is sitting in 4th place. That is the 91, Wesley Donaldson. Working his way through the field. He started back in, I believe it was, 7th? Fell back quite a bit, kind of dangling his feet right there in the top 10. Now all of a sudden, Donaldson looking pretty quick up to 4th and kind of settled in there just in front of the 9 of Bobby Wetzel. Going back here a little bit, this is Jack Coleman, Joe Hudson. Those cars kind of scattered out a little bit. Josh Parker back here. Then we see Mike Montesi. He is side by side. Who was that? With Eric Arnold. Montesi was one of the first cars to take a ride through the grass tonight. Glad to see him able to recover just a little bit, sitting in 20th on the lead lap. As this group continues to have to race around one another. It's not the most organized. This has got to be scary for some of these guys as we see the moves happening right back here. Who is this? That's Chad Coleman, Joe Hudson, Josh Parker in this mix. Back up front, Justin Fuller continues to lead, clicking off the laps. Coming across the stripe to start lap 67. Now, last time down pit road were these drivers on lap 49. I suspect we will have to see them pit one more time as we see David Brown now work to the outside, P2. But anyway, going back to this, I suspect we will see these drivers have to pit right around, let's call it lap 95. If they just stay green flag racing, which thus far, it seems like it certainly is the possibility. Had a pretty long green flag run. I believe that was, 45 total green flag laps, 46 green flag laps to kick off tonight's Independence 500. But now, they're settling back in for another one. Went back green flag racing on lap 51. So just closing in about halfway through what'll be a green flag pit cycle here for these cars. We've talked about him a couple times tonight. That's John Schwerkart in the 1. That driver's put on some impressive shows recently over in other SIM500 broadcasts. So let's ride on board with the 1 car as he takes a couple laps here at Daytona. under caution for the second time tonight. And several cars are going to bring this out, including Chad Coleman. He's slow. Mike Montesi is involved as well. Looks like this may have started back here with Joe Hudson. Couple others. Let's take a look. First, from the 49. Oh, it all happened right there in front of him. Nowhere to go. Several cars. Montesi goes down low. And that's going to bring it out here for the second time tonight. Joey Jatina involved in this. Sean Britzman. Then Logan Koger, I believe, was also involved. This actually may have started. Let's take it back. Let's take a look one more time. This may have started up here with Kevin Stone. Nope, that was before that. So it was back here with Logan Koger. One more time to take a look. And that is going to bring the caution out. Unfortunately, several really quick drivers going to be involved here. That's runner caution for the second time. And by the way, that pit strategy I was talking about, it's all out the window now. Justin Fuller is going to lead the whole field down pit road. Pit stops underway. The 51 hits his box. Everybody else is going to follow suit. Again, that incident included Logan Koger, Mike Montesi, Chad Coleman, Joe Hudson, Joey Jatina, Sean Bretzman, and again, Logan Koger involved there. Also looks like Eric Arnold may have had a little bit of an issue post the caution coming out. Either way, some fast drivers going to be really disappointed with the end of their evening, at least competitively here at Daytona. Under caution for the second time tonight, lap number 72. The Independence 500 is going to step aside. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off. That means we're getting ready to go back green flag racing here on lap number 74. Out front, David Brown wins the race off pit road. Justin Fuller, Zach Roethlisberger has moved all the way up to third. He's so far our biggest mover in the top 10. He's up 26 spots right now. Sitting third, Wesley Donaldson, Bobby Wetzel, your top 5. And then it's John Schwerkart, 6th. Petri Smetana. Mr. Smetana, we're going to figure that out before the end of the night. Doy Woods, Kevin DeBrown, and Nelson Rivera, your top 10. As they get ready to go back, green flag racing. The iRacing liveried Ford Mustang is going to head down pit road. And David Brown started on the pole, back in control. Green flag back out here at Daytona. We saw the lap cars play a factor in tonight's race, or in these restarts a little while ago. Now they've got them on the inside. They just got to hang on to the line there. Oof, that was close. And another pack of cars still trying to get caught up here. And David Brown, to the point. Justin Fuller, though, is going to have a big head of steam just behind him. Then that's Zach Roethlisberger making a move. He's going to follow Fuller. Here comes Wesley Donaldson and Bobby Wetzel in the mix. But out front is going to be the 51 on the point. That's Justin Fuller back to the lead. Lap 75. Hey, Brian, thanks so much for tuning into YouTube. Yep, absolutely. These old cars are a blast. I haven't called many races with them. Oh, we got wreckage in turn 2. Big wreck. This is going to collect 5, 6, 7 cars. They're still wrecking behind them. That is going to be a big impact to this field as the caution's out again. We saw that down, and I think that was Josh, may have been Josh Parker hitting the apron. Let's take a look. Nope, that was definitely not Josh Parker. I'm not sure who that was in the mix here. Was that David Brown? Looks like Shieldhouse involved. Logan Koger involved again. So many cars involved in this accident. Let's take a look here a little bit further back. We were just talking about, that's just Shieldhouse down to the apron. Oh, he nearly gets collected. Let's, you know what, let's just go back to the rewind here and see if we can make sense of what happened. Oh, it looks like this is going to be, watch David Brown on the bottom. Oh, the 44 is going to make contact with him, and it's on from there. Oh, no. Brown was able to escape, but really everybody behind him is pretty much collected in that. That was the 44 of Glenn Campbell with him, and that is going to be a big impact to a lot of drivers here tonight. I showed Josh Parker, David Shieldhouse, Brent Scott, Glenn Campbell, Mark Jorgensen involved in this. I saw Nelson Rivera, Alan Wild, Richard Swavely also involved. Let's take a look. I show Tyler Dalton, Stoney Benfield, Anthony Crownover, George Livingston, Josh Parker, Doug Sigmund. And that's the list continues to go on. That was a big one. That's going to bring the caution out here for the third time for the Independence 500. Zach Roethlisberger continues to lead. Wesley Donaldson, Bobby Wetzel, Brent Scott, Mike Montesi, your top 5. The rest of the field right now sitting on pit road. We're going to step aside once again. You're watching Turn 1. we said just a little while ago how important it was these restarts were going to be with those lap cars a factor, and unfortunately I think we have a taste of that, of what happened to the big one here at Daytona. The Independence 500 under caution for the third time here tonight on lap number 78. Just a little while ago we saw David Brown and the 44 Glenn Campbell come together on the track, and unfortunately, while David Brown was able to drive away, about 12 cars were not able to. Pit stops have come to a conclusion. We're going to come back green flag racing. Zach Roethlisberger up front. Wesley Donaldson, Bobby Wetzel, Brent Scott, and Mike Montesi, your top five. David Schildhouse was able to get back up to 6th. I think he went through a ride through the grass. Justin Fuller, 7th. David Brown, 8th. Mark Jorgensen and Tyler Dalton, your top 10. Pace car is going to go down pit road. Back to the high line they go. And Zach Roethlisberger is going to lead his first laps under green here at Daytona. On that high line they go. Roethlisberger, Donaldson, bumper to bumper. On that top line, they're going to get free and clear of that inside line. Here comes Bobby Wetzel in the 9. He's got a big run as we see some of those lap cars head down to the apron and try to get out of the leader's way. But Donaldson on the move. He's looking to the inside of Roethlisberger. He's going to make the pass. And he's going to bring Bobby Wetzel with him as they roll through 3 and 4. The 91 up 6 spots on the night. Going to cross the stripe, your new leader on lap 80. Back behind him, though, it's still pretty chaotic. That's Brent Scott. He's moved up to 2nd. Mike Montesi is 3rd. Schildhouse has settled into 6th back, or 5th back here. Roethlisberger has fallen all the way back to 6th. Justin Fuller, David Brown, Mark Jorgensen Jr. Those cars, even though they may have a little bit of damage, have worked their way back forward. Looking through the field here just to kind of see where some of these damaged machines are. That's Logan Koger. You see he's got a bit front end there. He's running 22nd, but good to see some of these drivers able to keep a little bit of speed up, even with a little bit of damage. A driver that's got a clean nose so far. It's the 91. Oh, the caution's out again. We are looking for it here. Oh, it looks like Swavely involved. Mr. Swavely, what happened to you? He is in the grass. And so is Mark Jorgensen also involved in this. Let's go back and take a look. Swavely just loses it all by himself there in the 66. Jorgensen was not involved there. Let's see if we can take a look and find out what happened with Jorgensen. I also show he had an incident right after that caution came out. He went for a ride. Oh, no. So, Swavely was involved because Jorgensen is destroyed. All right, you know what? Let's just make this easier because apparently something big happened there with Mark Jorgensen Jr. Let's see if we can just get a better view, shall we? Coming down to the start, coming down into 1 and 2. Oh, he gets, they get contact with the 47 made. Jorgensen just curves it up and then, oh, I think that's Dory Woods. That moved up and had nowhere to go. It was. But Jorgensen just goes for a ride. That car is going to be destroyed, and that'll be the end of his night. Cautions breeding cautions here for the Independence 500. Donaldson out front. He's going to bring the field down. Brent Scott, Bobby Wetzel, David Schildhouse, and others all going to hit pit road. As the cautions have been coming here, these drivers have been taking advantage of it and hitting pit road, but If you play your cards right, this could you could only have to stop, what, 2 more times? So you want to make sure you get every bit of fuel you can under caution, no rushes. And it looks like it was a fuel-only call there. David Brown is going to be your leader off the pit road. Then it'll be Schildhouse, Scott. The 25. Tyler Dalton back up here running 5th and is going to take advantage. Donaldson, I think, may have taken 4 in fuel. That's going to set him back all the way to 6th. We're going to figure all this out, let the running order get sorted out, come back green flag racing once again. You're watching the Independence 500, presented by SIM500 on Turn 1. Pace car lights are off. David Brown, David Schildhouse, Brent Scott, Tyler Dalton up front here, getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. Lap number 85 of 200 here tonight at Daytona for the Independence 500 pace car. Down pit road. David Brown has been finding himself back up front fairly often tonight, but I think he's got a little bit of damage. The green flag's back out. He's going to get that car back up under speed. Little bit of help from David Schildhouse behind him on the bumper. As they head off into 1 and 2. Fresh tires and full fuel for these drivers. And David Brown will roll out of the corner, continuing to lead. Our leaders lined up on the outside. Those cars down to the inside, with the exception of Brent Scott, are lap down cars. The old restyle format of NASCAR yonder year in effect here tonight. Scott's going to drive down the corner. He's going to be on the inside of Schildhouse. Brent Scott on the move. Had a huge run. He's going to bring the 25 with him. Brent Scott, side by side, a two-way battle for the lead here as they roll out of 3 and 4. We're sorry, roll into 1 and 2. Shieldhouse nearly makes contact with the wall. It's going to be a drag race down the backstretch. Scott's going to move deep to the inside. That's going to bring the 25 up here. The 25 car making big moves. Scott's going to slide back quite a ways. And that's going to give that lead back comfortably to David Brown as they roll out into the 3 and 4. And down this front stretch into the tri-oval, David Brown leads on lap 87. Our top four, top five single filed out. Brent Scott fell all the way back to 6th. And then it's Bobby Wetzel back here battling alongside Zach Roethlisberger. Tyler Dalton's in the mix as well. Justin Fuller in your top 10. As we look through the rest of the field, and this is the second pack of cars. That's Justin Fuller leading that group. And then it's Eric Arnold, Josh Parker back here. These cars are really kind of broken out quite a bit. You see a lot of these lap down machines up here as well. They're all battling for those positions and those spots on track. They stayed out. Oh, man, car spun. He's going to have some help. He's going to go airborne. Trying to find out who that was. I think it was Stoney Benfield, may have went for a ride, and I think he is going to settle back on his wheels, the 47 of Benfield. He may have had a little bit of help there. Let's take another look as we're under caution once again. That was after it was all said and done. Unfortunately, iRacing Events not playing too well tonight, but that's okay. We can do a quick rewind here and find out what may have happened there to the 47 that caused him. This all started back here right out of turn 2. He had some help. I believe that was the 26 there. And then just got a ride down the backstretch. No, I'm sorry. That was Anthony Crowner over the 28. At the 47. Had a little bit of help from. Got spun out of turn 2, and that's going to bring the caution out once again. David Brown continues to lead. David Shieldhouse. Peter Smetana, your third place driver. Wesley Donaldson, Mike Montesi. Brent Scott sitting 6th right now. Again, one of our big movers up front, up 26 spots. Bobby Wetzel, Zach Roethlisberger, Tyler Dalton, and Justin Fuller. Your top 10. Want to take this quick second again to thank everybody for tuning in to the Independence 500 right here on Turn 1. If you haven't already done so, please do us a favor, support the channel, subscribe if you're over on YouTube, or like the page on Facebook. If you're over on Twitch, give us a follow as well. We'd appreciate the support. You can catch a ton more of SIM500 racing all through the into the summer and into the fall on the Cup Series side right here on Turn 1 Broadcasting. Pit stops underway. And these drivers here, they're close to making it on one more stop, but it's not going to be in the window as everybody down pit road. And David Shieldhouse is going to be your leader. He may have taken just a splash there. It looks like David Brown's going to take full service. It looks like the 25 is going to be in the mix as well again. Here comes Brent Scott. Roethlisberger's your 5th place driver. Bobby Wetzel, Fuller, Montesi, Arnold, and Parker, your top 10. We're going to step aside once again and get ready to call the green flag restart. Under caution for the 5th time on lap 90. You're watching Turn 1. Getting ready for another restart here as they come to take lap 92. David Shieldhouse is going to be your leader. And then it's the 25, the 83, the 33, the 11. Keep in mind, again, old restart rules, the format in effect. So you're going to see some of these lap down cars on the inside. That'll be a factor. We've seen them play a little bit of a role in some of these restarts. Let's see if it comes again. Again, Shieldhouse on the outside. Pace car is going to head down pit road. Through the short chute here all the way to the tri-oval. The 20 car of David Shieldhouse sees the green flag, and we're back racing at Daytona. This car is getting up to speed here. As they roll through the corner. A clean restart out the top 10, top 15. Lap cars are going to stick around a little bit, but David Shieldhouse is no worry. He's out front, 3 car lengths on the closest lap car. He's got help from the 25. David Brown also there with him. And up to speed they come through the tri-oval. Looking back here a little further, that's Tyler Dalton. Oh, that's Logan Coger, I believe, in the wall again. Logan, was that you, buddy? I'm pretty sure it was. He was nearly in the wall if he wasn't. These cars are just genuinely difficult to handle. We've seen how bumpy this racetrack is on top of how loose these cars feel. And you see David, this is David Brown, make a move on the inside. There's enough Browns and Davids and yeah. But David Brown going to make a move on the inside of Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse is going to be all by his lonesome, and he's going to slide back. David Brown's going to be your new leader. The 25 is going to look down on the inside. Brown's going to stay in his lane. And another caution out. And it looks like Richard Swavely involved again. Let's find out what happened to the driver, the 66. That looks like at the bottom of turn 2. The 66 again just gets loose. We saw that happen last time as well. And Richard Swavely involved. They're going to bring the caution out here just short of halfway at tonight's Independence 500. David Brown going to be scored your leader. Again, this driver, he started on the pole. Has led some laps to follow back through the field. Even got a little bit of damage on the nose of that car, I do believe. But right now, sitting in the lead here tonight at the Independence 500. Brought to you by SIM500. We'll take another moment and step aside. You're watching Turn 1. after all the pit stops. Mike Montesi is going to be scored your leader and bring the green flag back out here once they get back going. Tyler Dalton, Anthony Crownover, your top three. A little bit of a shake-up here in the top five. David Brown came down pit road there this last time by, and he's going to restart ninth. As the pace car lights are off, and we're getting ready to get back green flag racing here at Daytona. Under the hot summer sun of this old 2008 version of Daytona International Speedway. Bumpy, abrasive. Makes it really difficult to get around here. If you have had the chance to run the old trucks here in the pickup cup way back in the day, well, you felt this racetrack. You know what it feels like. Well, now they're doing it with the 1987 Cup cars. The old Buick, Pontiac, Ford. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's Buick. Either way, they're doing it in the Cup cars, and it's a ride. We'll ride on board if we get a chance. Get a little bit of a green flag run. I'll take you on board with a couple drivers and do some laps around this famed 2.5 mile racetrack, and you can get first-hand experience of what these drivers are battling against as they work to bring home a checkered flag and a nice chunk of the prize pool here tonight for the Independence 500. Pace car is going to head down pit road. Mike Montesi in the 4 is going to be your leader and in the control. And the green flag's back out. Mike Montesi goes. We're back green here at the Independence 500. Tyler Dalton gets going. Then it's 2 lap cars on the bottom there. Then Anthony Crownover on the move. This is the first time for Crownover up front. Then you've got Bobby Wetzel, Wesley Donaldson, Robert Ferreri's up here, Josh Parker, David Brown, Logan Koger in the mix again. And all of a sudden up front, it's going to be a tight battle. Those are lap down cars on the inside there of Mike Montesi, but that's going to check up the rest of the field. The 25 now looking to the inside. On the move. He's going to get blocked by a lap down car. That's the 22. That's Nelson Rivera trying to keep his spot up front. Montesi's going to lead the highlight. There's really nowhere for the 25 to go. You can't really make a third line with these cars. It just doesn't quite work. And Montesi on the high line. He's got Tyler Dalton glued right to the bumper. And those two check out on that high line. And Tyler Dalton's going to move to the inside. Side by side, they go off into 4. Tyler Dalton has shown flashes of speed throughout the week. Qualifying himself, obviously, into the race. Now looking underneath. And Mike Montesi. The 81 and Josh Parker gets loose. A big incident that's going to affect several cars. Josh Parker gets loose up front. And that's going to bring the caution out once again. We saw the 81 getting loose out there on the top of the racetrack just behind Montesi. And he may have had some help from the 25. A couple other drivers involved in this as well. It looks like Eric Arnold, Robert Finetti got involved, Zach Roethlisberger involved. And that is going to bring the caution out once again here at Daytona. The 4-car leads Tyler Dalton, Anthony Crownover, David Brown, Bobby Wetzel, Justin Fuller, Wesley Donaldson, Logan Koger, and Eric Arnold as they get caught up with the pace car for the 7th caution tonight, just past the halfway point of tonight's Independence 500. We'll reset the field and talk about what we need to look for the second half of this race once we get back green flag racing. You're watching Turn 1. David Shieldhouse, score true leader, Brent Scott, Mike Montesi, Tyler Dalton, Anthony Crownover, your top 5. Joey Jettina, the first time we've seen that driver up here tonight. He's sitting 32 spots up right now in 6th place. Bobby Wetzel, Logan Koger, Wesley Donaldson, and Justin Fuller, your top 10. Unfortunately, there's very few cars left in this field who has no damage. And that's going to bring some of these drivers who are up here with a little, or who have some damage but can still maintain some pace, back into the top 10. Pace car's going to head down pit road. Shieldhouse and the 20 car sees the green flag. We're back racing at Daytona. Those lap cars on the inside get a great restart. Oh no, Bobby Wetzel involved in an incident. That's going to bring the caution out once again. We saw Wetzel falling through the field, and where that happened, most likely may have had some assistance. Let's see. The 9 car, we're paying close attention here. Everybody checks up in front of him. He does not get, then Logan Koger gets into him, and that's going to send him into the wall. And that'll bring the caution out again. Not what the 9 of Wetzel wanted to see here on that restart. We have seen these restarts be pretty treacherous for this group, and it has been tough. They have had a couple run of cautions here. We had 46 green flag laps to kick off the race, but since then, not had too much of a long green flag run. We're going to be under caution once again, and we're going to spin it on board. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. We're going to be under caution again, but we're just going to step aside. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off. We're going to go back green flag racing here. Lap number 108 on turn one's coverage of the Independence 500 presented by SIM500 right here at Daytona. David Schildhouse, your leader. Brent Scott, Mike Montesi, Tyler Dalton, Anthony Crownover, your top five. And these drivers looking for a little bit of a green flag run. This caution will bring them into a position where some of these drivers, if we were to get it, may only stop one more time. We'll see if that'll be a factor here. We saw about 45 laps on the green flag run for a good portion of this field. Can they make it the rest of the way on one more stop? Well, it's all going to depend on what happens here with the cautions. The action's heating up on track, and the green flag is out. Schildhouse gets them rolling. That top line really getting some speed up here. Great restart out of the top four. Schildhouse out front by 3 car lengths. Brent Scott sitting in second. He moved down to the bottom of the racetrack. Everybody's kind of jockeying for a little bit of position here. But it is go time for a couple of these drivers. So you see Brent Scott. He's on the go. Brent Scott down on the inside was able to take the lead away from David Schildhouse. What a move out of a 33 car. Brent Scott comes back to the start-finish line. Your new leader here for the Independence 500. Back behind him, that's Mike Montesi, and then it's Tyler Dalton, Justin Fuller. He's back on the lead lap. And then it gets a little wild back here. That's Roethlisberger, Joey Chattina sitting in ninth, Wesley Donaldson, David Brown up there, Logan Koger. Crownover's fallen all the way back to 11th. Traffic congestion is real for the top 15. You got a car slow down on the apron, but I think that was just them sliding out of the way. As we go back up front, Brent Scott leads. Schildhouse sitting second. Tyler Dalton now to the inside, but Mike Montesi is not done. He's on the outside with a limited draft help from Schildhouse. Here comes Justin Fuller on the outside as well. Two by two, the front two rows go as they come down the start or come down the backstretch. Tyler Dalton's going to have a huge run, and he's going to take it. He's going to bring Montesi with him. Tyler Dalton completing the lead change here as they come back to the start-finish line. Schildhouse settling all the way back into fifth. Brent Scott now is losing some momentum on the high line. There goes, here comes Schildhouse. Down the bottom, Zach Roethlisberger is going to join him. Brent Scott, maybe, I don't know what's going on with the driver of the 33. We saw him make a monster move now, starting to slide back through the field. Meanwhile, the 19 of Tyler Dalton out front. First laps being led by the 19 all night, but Tyler Dalton's always quick. Most races we cover with SIM500 includes Tyler Dalton in them, and if he's not in the top 5, running pretty competitively, well, it's usually for, it's usually very few circumstances. So nice to see Tyler Dalton out front leading some laps here. The Independence 500. Montesi moved down to try to run down the inside of Dalton, and that it was not able to make that car stick. Here comes Justin Fuller on the high side. Montesi's going to lose a spot there, and may lose 2. Here comes Schildhouse on the outside. As Justin Fuller moves up to P2, he gets a monster run down the backstretch, but he's going to back out of it. As Montesi settles back in there, that's going to be for 5th. Tyler Dalton going to continue to lead, but Fuller on the charge. Both those drivers now, they were out quite a bit on third place of Schildhouse, but Schildhouse made up a huge run down the front stretch. Most of the field has gotten pretty spread out here. And this will be conducive to a bit of a green flag run. Let's ride on board here. With, let's see. Who do we want to ride on board? Let's ride on board with the 31 of Eric Arnold as he's working his way into the top 5. Mike Montesi's backwards down the backstretch. And that's going to bring the caution out once again. As we were riding off forward with Dalton, we saw the 4 take a dip to the left. It was sliding sideways. Let's go see if we can figure out what happened to Mike Montesi to bring out the caution here at Daytona. It was already sideways there. It looked like it involved a couple cars as they come down the backstretch. Oh, he just drove into the back of the 31. Montesi tries to lock it down. He's going to make contact with the 46. And Montesi's going to be backwards, like I mentioned, and into the grass. Not quite sure what happened there between him and I believe that was, again, the 46, I believe, that he was up there with. Either way. That was that Sean Britzman? Sean and him had made contacts. It was another driver that he may have gotten to a little bit of a tango with. Was it Eric Arnold? It was him and Eric Arnold getting together, and that's going to bring the caution out once again. Justin Fuller, while we were riding on board, was able to squeeze by Tyler Dalton. Dalton fell all the way back to 7th. Justin Fuller, David Schildhouse, Zach Roethlisberger, Joey Jatina's on his way up front. He's now up to 4th. David Brown 5th. Logan Koger, Tyler Dalton, Anthony Crowder, Wesley Donaldson, your top 10. And these cars are going to come down pit road. Still, this will not get them the rest of the way through, but these cautions have been followed just in time for some of these drivers. We'll see if that's going to be a factor or not. And that's Nelson Rivera. He's a lap down, not going to come down pit road this time. And pit stops as we see David Brown hit pit road. Four tires, the right side's going on. It looks like Fuller's going to be just ahead of everybody. He's going to see the left sides. He's going to get rolling. He's going to beat everybody in front of him off. Justin Fuller's going to get the lead off of pit road. It's going to be David Brown, Schildhouse, Koger, and Jatina, your top 5. We're going to go back green flag racing with about 80 laps to go here tonight, Independence 500, right here on turn 1. We'll be right back. Pace car down pit road, and we're back. Green flag racing. Justin Fuller gets them back rolling here on lap 119 of 200 for the Independence 500. Presented by SIM500 right here on turn 1. Fuller, Brown, Shieldhouse, your top 5. Brown's going to look to the inside. Had a bit of a run coming off the corner, but he's actually going to lose the spot to Shieldhouse, Logan Koger. On the outside, Justin Fuller. Going to lead as they come across the stripe. Koger's been involved in a couple different incidences here this evening, but that car, none too worse for wear. Somehow that machine looks fairly straight in grand scheme of things. And Logan Koger is going to take the lead for the first time tonight here at Daytona in the 87 Coupes. Koger, Brown, Cimitana, your top 4, top 3. We had a car. Was that I saw something in my periphery. I don't know what that was. Either way, we stay green flag racing here. And those top 3 all of a sudden have broken out. Getting a little racy back here around a lap car. Who is that back there? Is that it's not Nelson Rivera, not Bobby Wetzel? We're just trying to take a look. Is that Alan Wild? I believe it is. Oh, it is the who was that? The 31 goes around. No caution. That was Eric Arnold. He's going to get it rolling down on the bottom of the racetrack. No caution. Logan Koger continues to lead. David Brown, P2. David's going to have a big run. Not going to look to the inside. He's going to check up and stay behind Koger as they come across the stripe. Brown following the tire tracks all the way through 1 and 2, or sorry, through 3 and 4. Well, we've got the opportunity. Let's ride on board. Every time we do this, we see a caution come out, but maybe not this time. Justin Fuller, the 51, sitting 4th right now. Let's ride on board. Hold on. Donaldson and Roethlisberger heard that was going to happen. I'm sorry, that was Shieldhouse and Donaldson. They heard we were thinking about it. They nearly made contact here on the front stretch. All right, they've settled down. Let's take a look and ride on board with the 51. Logan Coger continues to lead. David Brown sitting P2. Peter Smetana sitting P3. Justin Fuller, David Schildhouse, your top 5. Looking through the rest of the field, it's Wesley Donaldson, Tyler Dalton, Joey Jatina, Richard Swavely, Robert Finetti, and Zach Roethlisberger is Robert. Oh, a big blink out of Robert there. Zach Roethlisberger, Anthony Crowdover, Brent Scott, and others up here running tonight at the Daytona for the Independence 500. Coger had took the lead about 10 laps ago and has not looked back. Coming down the short chute, this will be lap number 129. As they are quickly ticking them off now that these green flag run is come out here and get these drivers last on pit road about 13 laps ago. They have to stop at least one more time to get all the way to the end. If it were to stay green, I suspect we will see pit stops around 35, 40 to go. Brown right to the bumper of Coger. We've seen these big runs coming off down the straightaway, but really not a whole lot of opportunities in the corners. We've seen several drivers try to get down to the bottom of the racetrack and make that pass on the bottom and not be able to really hold the car down there. You see them get tight. They have to get off the throttle. And ultimately, the runs have been mostly down the backstretch. So I suspect that's where we will see the later race fights for the lead. It'll be coming off the backstretch. It says Crownover. He's got Brent Scott just behind him, and then Zach Roethlisberger, Gerald Livingston. We're battling it out there for a moment. Brian Rayburn is there as well. But I would call this the calm before the storm. Logan Coger out front, leading here. And everybody's, for the most part, single filed out. We went from having action all over the racetrack to really nothing going on right now. Everybody's settled in and minding their P's and Q's. I think, again, these drivers got the message. It was time to put in some laps. This race is going on now just over the 2-hour mark here tonight for the Independence 500. And we still have, oh goodness, they're clocking about 46 second laps. So we still got a ways to go to wrap this thing up. And Logan Coger certainly wants to be at the front of it. We've seen him all over the running order tonight. Coger's usually pretty quick in any of the SIM500 broadcasts that we cover. A little bit of issue, I would say, biggest opportunity to be consistently being up front. And we've seen that tonight be a factor as well. We've seen Coger be involved in a couple of the different cautions that have come out as we see Fuller now look to the inside of the 25. Fuller got a huge run down the front stretch. Maybe testing the waters a little bit, but watch him as he comes off the corner here. Logan was able to really hold it down there better than I suspected, but here comes David Brown on the high line. Coger, though, he's out of shape and on the outside. Fuller's going to take that spot away all of a sudden. I don't know what may have happened there to Koger, but he has fallen back from the lead. So now barely hanging on to the top 10. Justin Fuller assumes the lead. David Brown's still up here. The 25, the 20, and the 91 make up your top 5. And Koger's going to settle in back here around Wesley Donaldson. He's going to look to the inside. I believe that's Tyler Dalton leading that bottom line now. Koger really doesn't have a whole lot of place to go. That car certainly looks to be a little loose, and here comes, who was that? That is Tyler Dalton on that inside line. Koger just doesn't have really anywhere to go. Just needs to sit and ride for a little bit. Meanwhile, up front here, that's Shieldhouse, and then the 25 of Smetana. Justin Fuller back out front. We've seen this 51 up front a lot tonight. Looking pretty competitive. Justin has always got a good square head on his shoulders, at least from my experience in talking to him. And is looking to bring home the checker flag and the big check from SIM500 here tonight for the Independence 500 conclusion. Koger got out of shape. Oh, he's going to get into the back of Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse, what an amazing save out of the 20 car. Shieldhouse is trying. Oh, he's going to get turned. That's the 29 that got into him. I don't know if the 29 couldn't get checked up or what. And then several other cars are going to follow that up. But Shieldhouse had that car saved. And unfortunately, this is going to bring the caution out again. What a save, at least initially, out of David Shieldhouse. But that's going to bring the caution out. And for the 10th time here on lap 137, Justin Fuller leads. They'll come down pit road again, I'm sure. David Brown, Peter Smetana, Logan Koger, Tyler Dalton, your top 5. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off, and we're going to go back green flag racing. David Brown brings them back. Green flag here, lap 140. 60 to go in the Independence 500. They get rolling up front, but they really have to scatter out back around 8th or so. Shieldhouse, Jatina get rolling. Richard Swavely all back in this bunch. They have to get it smoothed out, but that looked like a really chaotic start back there towards the rear of the top 10 drivers. Brown out front, the 51, riding in his coattails right into the tire tracks. And here comes the 31 of Eric Arnold. Arnold somehow managed to keep that 31 up front and keep it going, even though he's been involved in a couple incidences here tonight. We saw David Shieldhouse. He went for a wild ride and a huge slide. Came down pit road, got that car squared away. Sitting in 7th place. Really, I show only 18 cars remaining on the lead lap. With David Brown. Scourger leader. That driver started on the pole. Brown's been, for the most part, out of trouble. Had some really clean runs here. Hasn't had a whole lot of drama. Stayed in the top 10 for the most part. Has been cycling off and on pit road with the rest of the field. And right now holds the top spot. Hey Trevor, thanks for tuning in to Turn 1. Not as bad as you would think. More self-induced in a couple incidences than anything, but so far they're hanging on to them. Here tonight for the Independence 500, brought to you by SIM500 on Turn 1. We appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't already done so, like the channel for us. Give us a subscription over on YouTube if you don't mind. Catch SIM500 live here every Sunday and Monday night. All throughout the next several months and into the fall. Back behind the 25 is Donaldson, Jatina, Dalton, and Koger. Those four, 2 by 2 as they roll through the tri-oval. The 25 trying to control both lines. He's actually going to check Donaldson up just a little bit, but here comes Jatina on the inside. Again, Joey here, he is actually a sub tonight for another driver not able to be here. Sitting in that 8 car. He's up 33 spots on the evening, so making it look good. Joey Jatina riding around and in striking distance of the lead here before it's all said and done. David Brown out front, 2 car lengths over Eric Arnold. Then it's Justin Fuller, another driver who's led. I think Fuller may be on track to be the leader of the most laps as we see Eric Arnold look to the inside of David Brown. David is going to slide up the racetrack, try to pick up a little bit of the RPM. And he's going to maintain that lead. But I tell you what, Arnold is going to drive hard down the backstretch here, and he's going to be in prime position to look underneath David Brown as they roll out of 4. Another driver looking to the bottom there, that's Logan Koger. Looking to the inside of the 25, he's not going to be able to clear that pass. Again, we see that bottom line just not materializing. If anything, kind of choking everybody up. We've seen some of the best passes happen on the backstretch. The 31's trying to now merge back in behind the 51. He's not going to be able to do it. Here comes the 25. All the way up against the wall. Smetana Side by side down the backstretch. Now the 31's at the risk of losing several spots. Justin Fuller's going to move up into P2. Logan Koger moves back up. That's where the pass is going to be had. As if we see somebody slower through the corner on the backstretch is where it's going to be the best opportunity. You just cannot turn down the corner here at Daytona tonight in these 87 coupes. And on top of everything else, on the cars being a handful, the track being bumpy and really not a lot of grip, but the sun's been beating down on it, and then the rubber is starting to build in. You're starting to see the track starting to get a little darker lap after lap after lap. And these drivers putting in some of that Goodyear rubber into the track, trying to work a couple different lines, but ultimately the bottom right now not paying off for these drivers. Back here behind Jatina, that's Wesley Donaldson and Tyler Dalton side by side there for a moment. Donaldson, I think, got into the main contact with the wall. He got loose, it looked like. Dalton's going to get by him and free and clear. Here comes David Schildhouse on the bottom as well. Schildhouse is going to slide up the racetrack. What a good move. We saw that driver have a perfect slide recovery. Unfortunately, got tagged by another car, but Schildhouse ultimately got that machine back fixed up and currently running ninth. Logan Koger back into the top five. Right to the bumper of the 31. That was a risky move there. Koger tags up the 31 of Arnold. Here comes Roethlisberger. Logan's going to get loose. He's going to fall back. We've seen Koger, that happen several times to that driver. It has been an eventful race for the driver of the 80 car. That is going to give Zach Roethlisberger the opportunity to move into the top five. He's also led a couple laps here on that 11 car. The Do Machine, one of my favorite schemes in this entire field right now. Settling in right behind Eric Arnold. They're about to come to the stripe here. And that is lap 150 of 200. We've got 50 laps to go here tonight for the Independence 500. Presented by SIM500 and sim500.com. What a great show it's been so far right here on turn one. And we're going to take you all the way to the checker flag. Which, by the way, David Brown is looking for the opportunity to hold that checker flag in his hand as well as a $120 prize pool for winning tonight's event. Everybody just ticking off laps. Keep in mind these drivers, but last down pit road lap 137, so not too long ago, about 15 laps. From 137, they can go all the way to, what, about 175. 180. They're going to have to stop one more time, though. And if there's a caution that comes out, well, they'll come down for tires anyway at this point. This abrasive service here at Daytona certainly has you really wanting those tires anytime you get a chance to pick them up. But they will have to come down for fuel at least once. So we could potentially see some more green flag stops like we saw a little bit earlier tonight. Again, keep in mind, it was a 46-lap green flag run to kick this race off. And we are well on our way to see another big green flag run. Up front, though, David Brown and Justin Fuller. Fuller has led some laps here tonight, as we talked about, right to the bumper of Brown. Fuller gets really tight up into the corner. That car's going to slide up. He's going to fall off the bumper. Brown's going to go to the bottom. Fuller back down to the high side. Fuller nearly up to the wall. He's splitting that white stripe across the middle of that 51 car. Trying to build the run up to the front stretch. He's going to get right to the bumper. He's not going to be able to pull off a run, though, as some of these drivers are going to start to see what they can do. What do they need to do to get these runs materialized so that they can go at the very end of this thing. They know what their cars are capable of. Speaking of, the 11's looking underneath the 25 down the backstretch. He's going to tuck back in behind him. Everybody's starting to get a feel for what's happening, and the give and take meter is starting to move towards the take line, all right? Throughout the early part of this race, you really wanted to mind your P's and Q's. There's no point in racing too hard, as we see the 31 and Wesley Donaldson battle it out in the 91, but nobody wanted to really push the issue too early. You had a ton of time to tick off laps, and you didn't want to be the guy causing causing a caution early. But now it's time to start figuring out, okay, where do I need to be? If I get to 2 to go, sitting in 8th, what do I need to do to get up front? And we've seen some of these drivers make some of these big, what I call hero runs forward over the span of, half a lap or so. And we know these drivers can get these runs, but it's just, where do you go with them? They don't have anywhere near the downforce and grip of today's modern cars on the NASCAR circuit. So you got to mind your P's and Q's. And on top of that, by the way, you're dealing with you trying to get the car under control, and then all your competitors around you in a very rough Daytona racetrack here on the iRacing service. Down the backstretch, Brown continues to lead. Fuller, Spatana, Zach Roethlisberger, Joey Chattina, your top 5. Tyler Dillon, Schildhouse, Wesley Donaldson currently sitting 8th. Richard Swavely, Robert Finetti sitting 10th. Eric Arnold. And that was... Eric, save it! No, Eric Arnold's going to make contact with the outside wall. That's going to be in the racing line. No caution, though. The caution's going to stay in the pocket. Arnold gets that car rolling. He's going to go down pit lane. Heavy smoke pouring out of the 31. That very well could end his night. Well, it will end his night competitively. He's going to go a couple laps down here. Side by side, Spatana, Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger's been flirting with that bottom line quite a bit, trying to get a decent run. Drive off was pretty strong this time. He's going to be nosed out in front of the 25. He's actually going to, that's one of the better bottom runs out of 3 and 4 we've seen all night. Now they roll off into 2, into 1. What can he do? The 25 all the way up there against the wall. Again, just at that white line. And they're going to they're going to get real close down the backstretch. And all of a sudden, here comes Joey Chattina on the inside. Both those drivers are a little slow. Chattina's going to take this opportunity and take the run. He's going to look to the inside of the 11. And you see it right there, what we were talking about with those runs. Chattina tried to make a move there on the 11, not able to complete it as they come to the stripe with 42 to go. Out front, continuing to lead. David Brown quietly just holding court at the point. Again, that driver started on the pole here tonight. Did not have to run through any of the qualifying races. He actually qualified the fastest lap. You can definitely tell he's got these cars under control. And he's on the point right now. Fuller sitting P2. Everybody in the top 10 just kind of ticking off laps here as we close in on 40 laps to go. The 11 and the 25 did not get the memo, though. Roethlisberger sends it deep again through the corner. He had a great drive through the middle. It's side by side. The 25 deep against the wall. Gonna be a drag race down the backstretch. Does Jatina get caught back up here? They're obviously punching a big hole in the air in front of him. Will he use this opportunity to try to collect those spots? The 11 has to move down. The 25 nearly makes contact with him. I think the 25 got loose, and there you have it. Zach Roethlisberger was able to capture that spot. He's going to move up into P3. Looking back through the rest of the field, you're not really missing anything. I just wanted to clarify it. A bunch of slower cars that are going to be a lap down. This is pretty much the top 10, top 12. Is the majority of the racing action on track at the moment. So you're not missing anything out back. See some of these cars driving down the racetrack. We saw first Roethlisberger do it, and then Fuller move down. And now Roethlisberger's going to look to the inside. The 11 car on the charge forward. It's a side-by-side drag race into one. The 11 was able to pull this off, but I don't know if he's got the run here, and he's at risk of losing a spot or two. As they're going to also catch a lap car at some point. Roethlisberger's going to move up back behind the 51 of Justin Fuller. Brown is on the bottom, or entering a little lower, and then you see everybody kind of drive down the middle of the corner. That's the 9 heading down pit road. He is a lap or two down at this point. That's Bobby Wetzel. Actually, I take that back. I don't know if he was a lap down right there, but he is now. That may have been him coming off the lead lap. He's going to hit pit road. Keep in mind, Bobby Wetzel can make it the rest of the way here. As we're going to come to the stripe, 37 to go. They will be well within a fuel window. I suspect we will have to see drivers down pit road. Last down 137, so this was coming up on, what, 26 laps of green flag action on those tires and on the fuel? So they'll have to come down around 180, 185. Nobody's going to have enough, I don't think, to go the rest of the way, so that's certainly not a factor. We'll see how it all shakes out before it's all said and done. I think it's safe to say, now that things are kind of smoothed out a little bit, we can take an opportunity. Let's ride on board with David Shieldhouse, the driver of the 20 car, as he works his way around Daytona. I spoke too soon. Under caution. For the 11th time, this is going to involve the 25. And that is going to be significant damage out of that car. It also looks like the 11 of Roethlisberger may have had a piece of this. Let's take a look. That was a little early, but I think these two may have made contact coming through the start-finish line. They did, side by side. Oh, the 25, yeah, they just got connected there. That I don't know if that was aero net code or what. But the left rear gets tagged. Then they both come together. That's going to bring the caution out. Here with about, oh goodness, that's going to bring us within 35 to go. David Brown out front. This could be the last pit stop of the night. Justin Fuller, Joey Jatina working his way up to third. I believe that was Tyler Dalton. It was. We've also may see a little bit of damage on the nose of that car. I think he may have had a little bit of contact through that incident. Either way, let's actually take a look at the 11. How bad is the 11? Oh, some right front damage for sure. That'll be an issue. And then the 25 is really beat up on the front end. A driver who's been running in the top 3. Oh, and the rear is up on that car. He has been running so strong all night tonight. Let's see if he can get that car fixed up and potentially in competition. Under caution once again. David Brown brings him down pit road. This could be the last time we see these drivers on pit road for the Independence 500. Everybody coming down to their box. 4 tires and fuel. David Brown misses his box. He has to back in. That is going to set him back a ton of time. Justin Fuller looks to be ahead of the group. Left side's already going on the 51 car. He's 4 boxes deep. Him and Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse gets rolling. Great stop out of Shieldhouse. Fuller gets going. And David Shieldhouse, Justin Fuller, Joey Gentina, Wesley Donaldson, and then David Brown will be your top 5. Richard Swavely, Robert Finetti, Nelson Rivera, Ron Holyfield is back up here tonight. And Tyler Dalton, we talked about that damage he potentially had. He took a little bit of a longer time on pit road to take those repairs. Under caution for the 11th time tonight. We're going to go back green flag racing with about 32 to go. You're watching the Independence 500 right here on Turn 1. Pace car back down pit road, and the green flag is out. Lap 168, Shieldhouse gets him rolling. Justin Fuller behind him. Again, potential. Last stops completed here for the Independence 500, and it could be, I tell you what, it's going to be a really interesting run to the end. A lot of competitive cars out of it. Meanwhile, we see Shieldhouse and Fuller side by side. Here comes Joey Gentina on the outside of row 2. Shieldhouse has the run. Fuller looking to the inside. He's not going to have it. He's going to move back up into the draft. I think we saw, at least some saw, a pretty big blink out of Wesley Donaldson there not long ago. He's able to stay on track. Here comes David Brown looking on the outside of him as they roll through 1 and 2. Brown's going to drive down the corner into the draft behind Wesley Donaldson. Brown missed his box this last pit stop. Had to put that car in reverse. That is obviously a pretty big setback considering these long stops. And now, oh wow, what happened to Joey Gentina? He fell back. Donaldson was able to get by him. Fuller sitting in second. David Shieldhouse, right now, considered is your leader up front. As when they come back to the stripe, it is going to be 30 laps to go. In the Independence 500 presented by SIM500 right here on turn 1. It's been a great race so far, a lot of green flag action. We've had some cautions, we've had some incidences, but ultimately, it has been a great race to watch here, capping off or bookending a fantastic holiday week. I hope everybody had a great time together, family, friends, or whatever you were doing. As they get a little tight there. Who is that? That's Tyler Dalton and David Brown. That gets tight through the tri-oval. We're able to stay off of one another. And then it's Gentina on the inside of Donaldson. Fuller's going to move down. That's going to put a little bit of draft out there for a couple of those guys on the bottom. Donaldson's down on the outside, though. It had a great drive off the corner. Wesley Donaldson looking to get ahead of Justin Fuller. That's going to trap Fuller down on the bottom of the racetrack. We've seen that be a really tough line to run. Donaldson out by 3/4 of a car length. Fuller still stuck on the bottom. Not quite clear. Here comes David Brown in the mix as well. But Fuller is going to lose that momentum through the tri-oval. He had to lift big. And Wesley Donaldson moving up to P2. Looking back a little bit further, that's Joey Gentina. He was actually on a roll forward. Oh, we're going to have a fight for the lead. Hold on, Joey. We've got something going on up front. Brown looked to the inside of Donaldson and picked up a ton of momentum driving down the corner. Fuller's got the bumper of Donaldson, pushing him ahead in the 91. Can David Brown get clear of the 91 on that bottom line? Again, we've not seen it be a factor. And now Donaldson deep to the right to the bumper of Shieldhouse. That fight's going to tune down a little bit. We're going to look back. Joey Gentina, we were just talking about how much of a run he had and how great he was doing. He's fallen all the way back to 8th. Maybe this is him kind of heat checking the track a little bit. No point in pushing the issue right now. Gentina has slowly walked his way up front. He's up 30 spots on the night, filling in for Randy Yoakum. Randy, we hope everything's okay. But I trust I can tell you that 8 car is in really good hands with Gentina right now running P8. Fuller's going to look to the inside of Donaldson as they roll through the corner here. I don't know if that'll be a factor or not. Again, that bottom line just looks to be a really tough place to be for some of these drivers. We've seen very few passes come to fruition, and it's mostly been after a longer green flag run. That top line has allowed these drivers to stay in the throttle a little bit more. I say that, but I think Donaldson got into the wall. He is falling back hard. Him and Coger make contact. They do it again. What is going on? That 80 car has been in everything tonight. Oh, and the caution's out. We're looking. It is involving... Oh, we've got a couple cars down here on the bottom. Brian Rayburn. Tyler Dalton. Oh, no. The 19 involved. Ron Hollifield also involved in this incident. Under caution here on lap 175. Let's go back and see if we can find out what may have happened. Well, that was a little too late for it there, iRacing. We appreciate it, but actually looks like it happened ahead of this group. Is that Dalton that got sideways? Let's look one more time. Let's do the old rewind McGee here. So Tyler Dalton gets into the corner, maybe just trying to hold off the bumper, the 22, then gets into the 07. Nowhere to go for the for everybody else there. And then Dalton also then gets hit by the 04. Man, that is unfortunate. And that's going to bring the caution out once again here. And this is going to be interesting. It's going to bring everybody within 25 to go. And it doesn't look like our leaders came down pit road. Let's take a look. Yeah, coming down. Oh, no, this will be their opportunity right here. To Shieldhouse, bring him down. Is track position valuable? They're going to go back green flag racing with 23 to go. You don't have to pit. But you may want to. Some of these drivers, oh, everybody comes. I was about to say, tires have been so critical tonight. I don't suspect we'll see too many folks stay out, and we're not going to. Pretty much the entire top 10 is going to come down pit road. As we see the 19 of Dalton, he's got significant left front damage. I believe he had to tow. The right side's going on. That 83 car. It's going to be close. Who gets off pit road first between the 83 and the 51? It's going to be the 83. He's going to take advantage of that top box. So it's going to be Brown, Shieldhouse, Donaldson, Fuller, Robert Finetti, Richard Swavely, Joey Jatina, Logan Coger, Nelson Rivera. Your top 9. And it looks like everybody else is going to be on pit road taking repairs. A little bit to call that 10th place spot. We're going to step aside. We're going to get back green flag racing with about 22 to go. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off. We're getting ready to get back racing with 22 to go. David Brown out front. David Shieldhouse running P2. Wesley Donaldson, Justin Fuller, and the 2 car of Robert Ferrari. 5 drivers, or the top 5 drivers. Ford, Chevy, Ford, and 2 Pontiacs. The green flag's back out. 22 to go in the Independence 500. Remember how we were talking about the give and take meter? Going to be heavy take, heavy take. Well, guess what? It's pegged now. You were pretty much on go. You're not holding back for anything at this point. The top 5, top 6, top 7. Oh, looking to bring home a victory here. You're not going to miss anything out back. The battle's going to be in these top cars, the top 8 cars right here. Your winner will probably surface out of this group of cars as well. Tell you what, the driver of the 83, he's looked sharp all night tonight, has been running up front. He wants to be that winner. He claimed that Independence 500 pole position. Has led a bunch of laps here tonight. Wants to lead the last one and get that checker flag. Put it in his pocket along with that big shiny check from SIM500. But we still got a little ways to go. Saw Shieldhouse run right up to the bumper there, but not really do anything with it. He continues to push the 83. Keep in mind, we are good on fuel, and theoretically, we are fine on tires. If we see another caution here with 15 or so to go, I imagine we'll see some folks probably bump down and take tires. But you do not want to be on the outside looking in. So that's going to be really careful what maybe everybody does the opposite of what the top 2, top 3 do. We'll see if that's a factor, or if they're going to run it green the rest of the way. Fuller's going to be under pressure from Donaldson as he worked down the front stretch. We saw Fuller up high on the corner. He followed in the tire tracks of Shieldhouse in front of him as 19 to go. And here comes Logan Coger. He's looking to the inside of the 2 car. After it's all said and done, Coger's machine doesn't look half bad, but he's been a bit all over the place. He's knocking on the door in the top 5. Like all 10, yep, the top 10 all in one big pack here. Then a little further back is Sean Bretsman, I'm sorry. He's in the 46, sitting in 11th right now, and you got to keep that car wound up. He's got some damage to that machine, but there's no point in giving up just yet. The same for the 25. He ran up front all night tonight. Looks like he's got a ton of front end damage though. As these drivers, anything can happen up front late into going. So if you're sitting 10th, 11th, 12th, you're not out of this thing. As they roll down into 1 and 2. Shieldhouse looking on the inside of Fuller. Fuller made contact with the wall. That's going to give Shieldhouse the run off. It's going to be a drag race down the backstretch. Things are heating up here at Daytona. Brown out front continues to hold court on that high line. Shieldhouse is going to look to the inside. He is side by side with Fuller, not able to get clear. Brown just riding in the middle of the track there, trying to control the lines. Here comes Fuller on the high side. Justin Fuller looking to the high side to take the lead away from David Brown. He's going to enter into the high line. That's going to trap Brown onto the bottom. Justin Fuller takes the lead of the Independence 500 with 16 to go. Shieldhouse is on the move. Here comes Logan Koger as well. Donaldson is not giving up that inside line too much. Brown is actually hanging on as well, not letting that inside line wear him down too much. Brown hung up the enter the tri-oval there a little higher. Shieldhouse, though, came right down to him. But Brown had a big run through the front stretch. He's going to challenge back for the lead. The inside of the 51. But Justin Fuller now leading the charge, hanging on to that top spot. Brown had a big run down the backstretch. Once again, that's going to keep him alongside Shieldhouse. They'll be side by side. Koger's just waiting in the wings, back behind back in the tire tracks of the 20 car. Brown is not going to let it go though. Right to the inside. He's going to drive the shorter distance around the track there. Well, the rest of these drivers are going to have the RPM in the car as they roll off into one. This is the track. This is the race right here in this group of cars. You're not missing anything anywhere else. As we're going to come back by with 13 to go. Fuller is leading. Shieldhouse has had a really strong car all night tonight. Actually got tied up in after saving the car, and what I would say one of the best saves I've ever seen. Getting caught up in an incident, but ultimately, right now sitting P2 with 13 to go. He's going to look to the inside of Fuller. He got a big run there. He may get clear of Fuller before it's all said and done. He's going to slide up. David Shieldhouse takes the lead from Justin Fuller in turn one. What a move out of Shieldhouse. Fuller now. He's pinched out of the top. David Brown's going to shut the door, so he's got to do something. He goes to the bottom. Fuller gets the big run. Maybe this is an effort to see what he has to do to get back to that lead. He's in the lead by half a car. But Shieldhouse is going to have a huge run off the corner. That's that outside line paying dividends. And they're going to split him. They're going to make him 3 wide for the lead. Shieldhouse, 3 wide middle, backs out of it. Then David Brown moves up and takes the top spot away with 12 laps to go. David Brown out of nowhere. Oh, by the way, speaking of out of nowhere, Joey Jatina to the inside of Fuller. 3 wide racing for second place. Fuller's going to take that spot. Koger's going to get in the mix. And all of a sudden, Jatina's going to get collected from the 66. That's going to bring the caution out. That'll bring the caution out here with just 11 laps to go. The meter got pegged there. 2 and 3 wide racing. Some of the best or some of the most exciting racing we've seen all night. As they're going to get slowed up and get caught up with the pace car. Woo, we got to catch our breaths. That was intense. The 66 of Richard Swavely. Hey, Richard, by the way, we saw you gave us a follow. We appreciate it over on Facebook. And thanks so much for sharing the stream. Well, Richard looks like I think he's going to tow to the pits. Nope, he just got that car reset. He's back rolling. Under caution, David Brown, your pole sitter tonight, has been in front quite a bit. And he's going to have to try to hold this field off. Look at that green flag racing with 8 to go as they're waiting on the pace car. We'll step aside. We're in the final laps of the Independence 500. Brought to you by SIM500. You're watching Turn 1. The Independence 500 going to go back green flag with 8 to go. Nelson Rivera out front. Yes, that's right, the 22 car. Looks like he may have taken 2 tires. And he is going to be out front and your leader. We've seen Nelson, I think for a while there, was trapped a lap down, but this is all worked out, and he is now out front. He's going to see the green flag and be the control car with 8 laps remaining here tonight at Daytona. The Independence 500 presented to you by SIM500. If you haven't already done so, you're going to want to catch up with Turn 1. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. We'd love to have you back. Cup Series and the Sunday Night Surge Series picks back up this week on Turn 1. We'd love to have you. You want to get connected with us and watch SIM500 racing action continue on. Post the IP500. Pace car is going to head down pit road. And things are about to heat up even more. Nelson Rivera sees a green flag. 8 to go in the Independence 500. The top 2 get free and rolling. Fuller now on the inside. That's on the inside of David Brown. Here comes Shieldhouse to the bottom. Rivera does not get rolling. Shieldhouse gets up to speed. He's going to get turned. Shieldhouse gets turned. Several cars sideways across the backstretch. Wesley Donaldson involved in this. Justin Fuller involved. The 66 involved. Let's go back here and take a look what happened to bring this caution out down the backstretch. Coming out of turn 2. Fuller just gets up underneath, and I don't know if that, I mean, that's just a racing deal there, but nobody was lifting. And all these drivers go around for a ride down the backstretch, but that is going to hand the lead to David Brown. David Brown out front. Nelson Rivera. I think this probably started with Rivera. I think they all kind of checked up. He just did not have third gear speed there. I think that's ultimately what was happening. And that's why everybody got checked up. Then it's Brent Scott, Sean Britzman. Remember we were talking about, hey, you can't give up. You need to be there. Sean Britzman is right now, he's up 11 spots running 4th. Joey Zatina is running 5th. The 25 car of Spatana is sitting 6th. Wesley Donaldson was involved in that incident. He's currently 7th. Justin Fuller, David Shieldhouse, Richard Swavely, your top 10. We're going to see how this all shakes out. A couple folks are going to have to come down pit road to get repairs. We had a big hiccup there. Some of these folks are going to have to come down to get repairs, while others are going to stay out on track. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching Turn 1. It all comes down to this. We're going to go back green flag racing with basically 4 laps to go. David Brown, Nelson Rivera, Brent Scott, Sean Bretzman, Logan Koger, your top 5. And the rest of the field getting caught up here. Donaldson stayed on pit road a while, getting some of those repairs done. So did Swavely. Shieldhouse is just also getting caught up too. This is going to be a pretty intense run to the end. David Brown just looking to stay out of some trouble. 4 more laps to wrap up the Independence 500 right here on turn 1. The pace car is going to head down pit road. David Brown sees the green flag. 4 laps to go. The 22 gets rolling pretty good here. We're going to keep a close eye, though. Does he have some top speed issues? Bretzman has a great run as well. What a move by Sean. He's moved up to P2. Rivera's a little slow off the corner. That's going to give Bretzman the opportunity. He's going to move down and block the run from Logan Koger. Here comes the 46. Brent Scott's there. David Brown just doesn't quite have the speed it seems like he did. 4 to go. Brown all up there by himself. Now he's going to get some help from Logan Koger. Brent Scott's on the bottom on the apron. David Brown leads that lap. 3 to go. It's a 3-wide battle for second. Shieldhouse is right there. The 46 as well. That's Koger in the wall. Bretzman driving with determination. Huge run. He's going to draft alongside David Brown. Going to have the nose out in front in 3 and 4. Brent Scott is right there as well as they roll out of the corner. Coming down the tri-oval, Brent Scott's going to go back to the bottom. 2 wide for the lead, 2 to go. Shieldhouse, Fuller on the move. Shieldhouse drives. He's on the apron as he entered 1. He's able to save it. Sean Bretzman on the outside. Until the point. Brown's going to look to the inside down the backstretch. A big run with Shieldhouse on the push. Here comes Justin Fuller on the bottom as well. David Brown back out front. Oh, big on contact with the wall. Bretzman's going to move backwards. David Brown is going to see 1 to go this time by. It doesn't matter what happens behind him. Brown out front. Shieldhouse P2. Justin Fuller P3. Who's going to get the run on the backstretch? Logan Koger sitting in 4th. Shieldhouse in trail to Brown. Shieldhouse is going to look to the inside. Fuller. I'm not quite sure what happened to him. That car looks a little unsteady. Shieldhouse to the inside. Brown to the outside. It's going to be a drag race. Down the short chute. David Brown is going to win the pole, and he's going to be the checkered flag winner here for the Independence 500. What an incredible race. David Brown survives to bring home the victory. The checkered flag and the big check. David Shieldhouse, Justin Fuller are going to finish 2nd and 3rd. We're going to step aside and bring you some post-race coverage. Hopefully, also see the 83 burn it down in a well-deserved victory here at Daytona. You're watching Turn 1. What a wild race, and the driver of the 83, David Brown, is going to be your winner, and we'll see if we can get him in the booth here. He's doing a burnout down the front stretch. Dave, you with us?
Hello.
Hey, buddy. Well, listen, congratulations. Bringing home the victory here at Daytona. Talk to me about that race, start to finish. Started on the pole and then able to bring home the checkered flag.
Man, I had to have a little luck there along the way. There were some wrecks that happened around me. Managed to make it through all of those, and then really that one at the end there. If I had stayed behind Nelson, or if I had gone below Nelson, I would have been caught up in it like everyone else, and just happened to make the right move when things got crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. David, you obviously posted the fastest time during open qualifying this week, or this last week, and then obviously led a bunch of laps tonight. Is this a car that you're comfortable with? What about this race in this style kind of aligned with your driving nuances there?
Yeah, it's just a car, and especially a car track combo that I've always been really comfortable with. It's people think it's just wide open in these things like everything else, but there's really a lot of maintaining the tires, tire heat and tire wear, and it's something I've always been strong at in this car.
Well, David, listen, put on a phenomenal show here tonight. The Independence 500 brought home the pole, brought home the checkered flag. You're going to bring home the big check as well for winning the race. Congratulations, and we thank you for the time. And with that, we will move on to the driver of the 51, Justin Fuller. Justin, I tell you what, that had to be a little bit of heartbreak considering the leading some of those laps there in the middle of the race and running in the top 5 all night. Talk to me about your race.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great race. It sucks we had that rash of yellows. That was rather unfortunate. Other than that, it was a great race. Ran out front all night long. That's all you could really ask for. I haven't ran this car in so long, other than this event. So to just run up front, this car takes so much finesse to get it around here and save the tires and be competitive and fast. So it was a lot of fun. I just wish we didn't have all those yellows because, man, the race was so much fun prior to that anyway.
Justin, we heard Dave mention that how important tires were and how tough that it was to keep the tires underneath you sometimes. From your perspective, how critical were they tonight, and how much did they play a role to the outcome?
When we had that only green flag pit stop, there were some guys that pitted like 2 laps before a handful of us, and we were running them down in a hurry. So I think tires meant a lot. And that's why I think you saw the majority of the field pitting every couple of laps when we kept having that rash of yellows, because if we go green, those 2 laps on tires are going to mean a lot. So, I mean, majority of us, there was a handful of guys that they just don't understand how to, run a race, right, from start to finish. And they just go 110% every lap. So, you just got to manage the tires. And I felt like, honestly, Dave Brown and I were doing a really good job of that. There was a couple other guys there, Peter and Zach. I think there was about 4 of us, and I'm sure Shieldhouse too was doing it as well. I just didn't see him up there while we were doing that. But the 4 of us running 1, 2, 3, 4 there for the longest time, and nobody could really touch us because we were just managing our tires. We did a good job, and we were able to hang on.
Well, Justin, listen, an impressive run tonight. Obviously coming up a spot or 2 short here, but I'm sure we'll be talking to you again real soon, and we appreciate you being with us tonight.
Absolutely, Sean. Thank you for broadcasting this race. Hope everybody enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all later.
Thanks, Justin. Justin Fuller, P3 tonight for the Independence 500. And with that, we'll see if we can quickly talk to David Shieldhouse. David, congratulations, P2 tonight. Obviously competitive all night long in that in the 20 car. But talk to me about the end of it there. What would you have liked to have done differently to potentially be on the point at the end?
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Really fun race. Happy to get back to P2 after the little incident with Fuller there. We were both hauling to get back up front, which was kind of fun. But, I didn't get my car. I wasn't able to get it fully fixed. I had almost 2 minutes of damage from that deal off of 2, and I think I still had probably 20 seconds of damage when I rejoined the field, and I took on some more damage on my way to the front with a couple of other folks, and so I probably didn't have the cleanest of cars to try and battle with DLB, but he's really good at this stuff. We've gone head-to-head before, and I came out on top the last time, and I knew that it was going to be really hard to get around him. He drove a perfect last couple of laps, left me really only one choice was to try and dirty him up, but I'm not going to do him like that, not for this kind of race or anything. So he did a great job. He deserves to win. He's really good at these cars. We put on a whale of a finish, I feel like. It was clean, it was green, and it was fun. 500 miles is a long race. To finish second in an event like this is really special, and I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to do it, and tip of the cap to everybody who organized this event. It's a lot of fun.
David, well, finally we heard both Justin and Mr. Brown mention how important it was to just hold this car consistently, and how important handling was to keep the tires underneath it. From your perspective, what was required there to be run up front? Obviously, you did it for most of the night. Is there any trade secret, or is it really just about tire management and keeping the car underneath you?
There's no secrets to this stuff. If people want to see what I do, they can go to twitch.tv/Shieldhouse or find me on YouTube and go watch my stream. There's no magic formula to this stuff. It's patience. It's a little bit of intelligence and understanding when to hold back versus when to attack. I just seen a lot of dumb stuff tonight, Sean, and I hate to say that, but I saw a lot of dumb stuff that really didn't need to happen in a 500-mile race, certainly before the halfway point. Just poor decision-making, and I think a poor decision-making led to a lot of the wrecks we saw tonight. It was quite sad to see 48 green flag laps to start this race, and then just absolute dishevelment for a lot of it. So I think decision-making, patience, discretion being the better part of valor, all those things, I think, help keep people up front who do this stuff a lot or have a lot of success in this, is knowing when to make that pass and when to just sit and ride and look up laps, because who the hell cares who's leading at lap 87 or 132 when it's a 200-lap race? It just doesn't matter. And so I think, a couple of racecraft things, getting cleaned up, make this an even better event. But listen, I appreciate everyone who showed up, gave it a try, and fought for however long they're in the race, because these things are fun to do. And we're still done about 10 o'clock on the East Coast on a Sunday night, which is nice.
It is, David, and I couldn't have said it any better myself. Thank you so much for taking part tonight. It was a great race to watch you put on up front, and we appreciate the time tonight. Congratulations on P2.
Thanks. Give a big thank you to my sponsor tonight at SIM500 for allowing me to be a part of this race and bringing me in and asking me to run it. Splash Go Graphics, of course. For the paint scheme, it's a little bit of an old one, Sean, but we pulled it out and she ran pretty good tonight. And everybody at twitch.tv/Shieldhouse, the children, all tuned in. We're loving it. They were here all night cheering us on. Yeah, the children, man. That's their name.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're just getting your feet wet in SIM500, calling us on Monday nights and all that, and so you'll meet the children. You'll get to know the children, but. Everyone who made this possible, Bobby Wetzel for putting the race on, everybody at SIM500 for calling a good race from Race Control, and I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight, Sean, I'll tell you that. Just worn out from that one, but, had fun and really glad to be a part of it.
Thanks, David. Congratulations on P2. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And with that, we are going to wrap up race coverage here tonight. What an incredible show, the Independence 500. Again, a fantastic way to bookend a fantastic holiday week, right? I appreciate everybody tuning in. Some of the best numbers we've seen on stream over the last couple of months and a year plus working with Sim500. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow night, Cup Series Sim500 is off. And then Tuesday night, we take DRS for another race, and then we pick back up for the Sunday night surge here with Sim500. On behalf of the league admins and everybody that organized this event, I'm Sean Fitz. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time on Turn 1.